Alright, that's better. I've got the manager out now, probably.
That's fine.
You'll take that.
You'll take that bird. It's a heavy one.
Without further delay, we will
Smash the like button.
get moving on this week's episode. Actually, I just need to update the title of the stream, don't I? That would probably be a good idea. We are at session 4.
Four already, Luke.
Look at that. It's going like... feels like it's been a month. Oh, wait. Yeah. And I apologise in advance because at some point I've been speaking for the last 4.5 hours. My voice is probably going to fall apart.
It's all gravelly characters from here on
I
out.
think that's my phone. It was my phone. Sorry if there's any feedback.
Man.
Without further ado, we will get in. I already said that once, but then we had some more delays. We'll get into it. When last we left off, the group had met up with some new friends. The cleric Izmir and our barbarian friend Eleni, who are currently off pursuing other bounties on their own this week. And the party came across a roving band of gnolls and were attacked at their campsite. After successfully fighting them off and collecting the bounty via way of giant messenger owl.
What else?
The party moved on to a small frontier town where our friendly local country lawyer offered his services to solve some local legal disputes, which we'll see whether that eventuates tonight or not, which brings us to where we are now. And in the small village of Elnast. Our intrepid group have just completed a night of resting, and they awake in the morning to find themselves in this small inn. I'll let you guys take it away.
So, is it a 2-story inn?
It is a 2-story inn. The bedrooms, or the rooms, are on the second level up a small curving flight of stairs above the main tavern floor, which has 4 medium-sized tables and a handful of stools along the bar, with the human bartender behind, who is ready to serve, and there is a small breakfast on display.
Coming down the stairs, Duncan Knuckle, attorney at law, stretches. I do declare that would have to be one of the most relaxing nights of my life. What do you put in your mattresses out here?
It's mostly straw. Yeah, straw is good quality. It's good.
My friend, it is the best quality straw that this head has had
locally
the pleasure
sourced
to.
and grown and cultivated. But yeah, straw.
You do not say.
Yeah.
Well, this is enchanted
I do
straw.
say. I do. I just said it. Straw.
You are right again, my friend. And this way we can agree on. What a delicious spread you have put out before me. May I partake?
Certainly, you may. It is all local fare, grown by our wonderful farmers.
Oh, local produce, farm to table. I've heard about such things. This is a treat and a delight.
Glad you approve. Looking around, you do see that there are fresh eggs. You can still see the sort of chicken feathers attached to some of the eggs.
These will have to be the
They are
freshest
literally
eggs.
straight from the farm, delivered this morning.
They're still warm.
There are some interesting looking sausages and bacon being grilled in the corner.
My, that's an
and
interesting
fried in the
sausage.
corner. And then there's a series of fresh juices and milk being served. There are 2 other people currently in the tavern, sitting on their own.
My friends, would you mind if I sat down and joined you for breakfast?
They look up and size you up, and then one of them nods. Sure, why not? More the merrier.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Duncan Knuckle. I'm an attorney. I'm a magistrate. I am a civil servant of sorts, and I would like to join you for this meal.
What brings a lawyer and a magistrate to this little town?
Why, it's the problems I make solve for individuals such as yourself. Are you locals to this town?
He nods. We are.
Why, that is fantastic. I'd love to make your acquaintance. And your name is?
Ezra.
Ezra.
Ezra Norton.
Both our names Well, my name doesn't start with E at all, but I like to think it does.
Yeah, sort of just blinks in confusion a few times and then just nods.
And your companion's name?
It's Bertrand.
Bertrand.
Bertrand Broust.
My Bertrand, I've never had the pleasure to have my name start with any kind of B, but if it did, I wish it was a name such as yours.
He just looks up and sort of glares at Ezra.
My friends, I'm sensing a slight bit of tension between the two of you. I hope it's not my presence.
No, it's that sneaky bastard Ezra over there. Stole my farmland. What are you talking about, Bertrand? That's my land. I paid for it fair and square.
Wow, this sounds like a problem I may be able to assist with. But as I mentioned before, I'm an attorney, a lawyer, a magistrate of sorts. Magisterians, justice of the peasants, land dealings.
Don't know what that is.
Well, allow me to illuminate
Land
you, my friend.
dealings?
Probably
Land
just-
dealings, you say?
An idea I do.
So tell me, Mr. Lawyer and Magistrate, let's say I buy some land
Indeed.
and I pay money for it.
I'm right with
It's
you.
mine, isn't it?
If you have a receipt of sale and a deed to the land, then we may consider this matter done and dusted, and I shall forward you my bill.
What if we both got a receipt, but neither of us has got a deed?
Interesting. Now, who did you get this receipt from?
That is a great question. I can't read, so I don't know his name, but it's on this here bit of parchment.
Oh, wow.
And he pulls out a very scrunched and folded, can't quite tell whether it's a scruncher or a folder. A little bit of both. And it's my trusty green pen one, there it is. He hands it over to you.
I certainly hope that the rich brown coating I found on this parchment is
Oh.
the earth from your delicious farm where these vegetables are grown, my friend.
Me too.
Islands fertilizer.
Just out of nowhere, there's just this.
Oh.
I don't think so. She walks past.
Just like pulling the corners apart and trying to kind of like unscrunch it without ripping it.
I'm surprised you're touching that at all.
Well, the things we do for the service of people such as these.
Sits down, puts both feet up on the table next to the food.
Yeah, like right next to the...
And then Edelin grabs the monkey owl, comes on top, grabs the sausage and like throws it, and she goes,
I will say Vidiri comes down at around the same time, approaches the same bartender that was spoken to before, and said, I may have singed the bed in my room a bit. It was made out of a material that didn't quite...
made out of straw.
Alright, it's straw.
Delicious straw.
Did you burn anything else or just the straw?
Just letting you know. And Vidiri walks away. She goes over to the buffet, which...
He races upstairs with a bucket of water.
She goes to the buffet and she gathers some breakfast, and there's some feathers attached to the freshly laid eggs, and she actually goes and boop, plucks a feather and kind of puts it in like a secret little like knot, like making sure no one's kind of looking around, and comes with breakfast. Looks at the scene with little their feet up on the table and strangers, and sits at a different table and enjoys her breakfast.
Vidiri, do not be shy. Come over here and sit.
Don't
join us.
harass the poor lady.
Is it harassment?
Yes. You're harassing everybody.
Lilith, this is indeed why I keep you on the staff. Your dissenting opinion is always a breath of fresh air when it comes to the...
Will you just find
Wait,
out
I
if
put it
the
myself.
poo piece of paper is telling you who has the deed to the actual place?
Can
and
I
you
roll?
one?
Can I roll to see if they noticed me sniffing the feather just before?
Go ahead, you can roll a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand?
When
wish
did
it
start
would-
passive perception?
I wish it was. Oh,
Hey,
wow, it's a
hey,
19.
You can check against your passive perception.
That was a 19. Anyways.
Someone might be above that. Someone was that was your.
Come now.
Yeah. That was
Yes.
gone through.
So Vidiri kind of realizes they didn't see what just happened and comes over like nothing is wrong and sits down.
Why nothing is wrong? Nothing at all. I'd like to introduce you to my team.
Everything's normal.
Ezra, Bertrand, this is my team.
Why do you wake up so early?
Lawyer and legal official. I'm a morning person. This is being
That's
set
fine.
within the canon of this world.
Sure.
I have it down to the fiber of my beings. These may I present my law clerks. Official, skilled, experts in all matters when it comes to property dealings and interesting stuff.
Vidiri's got a full mouth, kind of like.
They unfortunately are not morning people.
No, it doesn't look like it.
I'm taking a look at this receipt, this scrunch.
So he hands it over. Having a look at it, you can see that it is in fairly fine calligraphic writing that it is a receipt for plot West 4 in the village, and I've just completely forgotten the pronunciation of the village.
Plot West.
Elnast.
Elnast, yeah.
I had a K, I don't know. West 4 Elnast, 500 gold pieces, signed by a Lisken Westcott.
Why, it says here Liskin Westcott is the...
That was his name, Lisken. The other guy, Bertrand, pulls out an almost identical piece of parchment with the exact same information, including the dating. Noon on a specific day in Imperium year 131.
And it's the same day on both.
It is.
Why? I see what the problem is here, my friend. It seems that you've been hoodwinked, the both of you. Do you know this? What was his name again?
Lisken.
Scan. Perhaps if you pointed me in this direction, we may be able to resolve this cordially.
He was a bloke who came through from the capital selling land that he claimed to have rights to. The local town council approved the sales, but apparently he sold it to everyone, or the two of us at least.
So the town council, they agreed with him that the land was his to sell,
Indeed.
and he has in fact now sold it to the both of you,
That's right.
and you both have legal claim in some respect over this, but no deed. Well, the choice seems obvious, my friends, and I can resolve this with little to no effort on your part. Should my fees and services be hired?
Well, what are you going to do for us? We both want the land. We both pay 500 gold for it.
Now, my friends, you're in a unique position.
I think you should fight for it.
Vidiri
not
goes,
I will give
"We
you.
can't help
I will
you
give
for
you a
free."
dagger each. Go out into the front of the tavern, and whoever's still alive at the end of it can have the land.
Now, Lilith's approach is an option, and it is an option. I just want to say all cards are on the table at this point, but blood loss should not be the first thing you go to. And I'll tell you why it is, my friends. You make a livelihood from your bodies. Am I correct in this? You work the land.
Yes.
Blood loss might affect your
Good
livelihood.
land, too. This.
It
For a
is
second
good
there, I
land.
thought you were calling them prostitutes.
They may well be. In these times such as these, one must diversify their portfolios. Let's not look down on these folk.
I look at them. Are they attractive in any way?
Roll for attractiveness.
Bertrand is solidly built, but they have both clearly spent a lot of their life in the sun working the land.
I've
And
just
have
put
that sort of
plot
leathery,
She looks at you and goes,
hard-working, callous skin, tan
Lolliputs,
skin.
no.
Very
Some
leathery.
some avenues in life are just not going to happen for some people.
Now, my friends, you've heard Lilith. She is not willing to pay for your services. But do not take that as a slight. If it is your dream, you may request it, and I will do everything in my power to make sure this dream can happen for you. Now, back to the matter at hand. We know that you two have a receipt of sale. Now, we don't know how many other people in this town also have a similar receipt. What I propose as your legal representative, and I may find, you may remark at this point that you have taken quite a lucky stroke in bumping into me today is I can represent both of you, and we can work towards an even split of the land given. Now, it may not be the parcel of land that you had expected for 500 gold, but it will be some land. If a third person was to show up and then claim that land, and we have already resolved it, then the matter is done and dusted, and you will have a deed for a subdivided piece of land which you can then use for farming.
Scratches his head. Make it could be a performance check.
Oh,
That
you
was
are
your-
very kind.
He's not too sure what you're saying, what your offer is. So what you're saying is you buy the land office for 1,000 gold, sell it back half each. Is that what I'm hearing? For less than 1,000 though.
No, my friends. I am willing to barter a deal between you and the town council, given that you have receipts of purchase, and we shall secure you an equal share of the land given, which is more than you would get if a third party was to show up and then claim. Us acting now,
But we'll be out the gold.
what you've already spent the gold and you would get a land.
But the land isn't worth, half the land isn't worth 500 gold.
Well, look at it this way. At the moment, you have no land for 500 gold.
Well, that's true.
And that is a 24.
Well, alright, let's go and see. What can you do? Let's go see the town council then, shall we?
Fantastic.
Alright.
Now, about my service fee.
Oh yeah, your fee. If it works out, we'll pay you some money. What do you charge?
Well, let us frame the problem such as this. The Diri,
We're already out money for the land, the 500 gold. So
now, what would you say that land would be worth to you in an annual salary, an annual basis?
well, the whole plot would yield about 250 gold worth of vegetables a year.
Nah, at
But
least
I've got half.
500 nowadays.
So
New
it's
market.
not doing that much, is it?
Market's going
Price of
up.
produce is skyrocketing. While we were in
We're good at what we do here.
the crossroads not a day ago, and I do believe I saw the price of peaches was astronomical.
Easily. If not 4 times the price, double is. That's just our price.
But we're not here for the money, my friends.
No.
We're here to service you and to help you.
So there's no fee then, if you're not in it for money.
We're not in. Well, we must keep the roofs over our heads, so to speak, and the sausages in this young woman's mouth.
She's
The sausages in the mouth.
she's got one sausage and just goes really aggressively.
What a choice of words. Good lord.
I love the delay there.
It was just like,
He
wait,
was just
what?
gonna say breakfast. He said sausages in young girl's mouth. That's a different.
I didn't believe I put young in there.
You did now.
Market's gone way up. When's the last time you guys have checked the current prices?
Well, last harvest, which you know to have been probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, well, astronomical.
Now, the both of you, Ezra, Bertrand, you have been had by a hijinks of some not significant scale. We also work in the service industry. And I'm sure you would not like to perpetrate the same kind of betrayal on hardworking individuals such as ourselves as it has been done to you.
We're working together.
Now, if you were to get 250 gold for in terms of produce in last year's estimates for this plot of land, then one may assume that that number would be 125 gold, should that be divided between the two of you.
Yep.
Now, we are asking for the measly sum of 20 gold for service such as these. Now, I'm sure you can imagine 20 gold in the grand scheme of 125 gold or even 250 gold should you join forces and maybe come together with some sort of farming cooperative would be such a small matter as be insignificant in terms of the gain that you would receive.
He looks over at and I've got my code, Bertrand, and says, I'll pay 20 total, was that right?
20 total, my friend.
So 10 each. I'll pay my 10, Bertrand, if you pay your 10. We'll divide that land, we'll get it done properly.
Capital.
Bertrand, we'll keep that roll going. Bertrand offers a very reluctant nod and agrees, and they reach out. They do shake hands, and they Alright, we'll go back, we'll get our gold, and we can meet you at what is basically Town Hall. It's that shack on the northern side of town.
Why, my friends, I love the pleasure of doing business.
Alright, we'll see you there. Duncan, was it?
Duncan Knuckle,
Duncan Knuckle.
attorney at law.
Good. And he looks at you as you walk. This better be legitimate.
My friend, what would give you the impression that it is not?
Well, I've got a fake receipt of sale, apparently. So, it's happened to me before.
It's finally wise.
Some fancy, big talking bloke came out of the capital.
Is it Bertrand that's saying this? Or
This is Ezra.
I put my hand on Ezra's and I said, Ezra, my friend, not everybody in their world is out to get you. You must learn to trust again.
Alright. One more time. One more time.
I love you.
Make
They
a...
kiss. No.
Make a little laugh.
We'll just go.
A long check.
So, you can... Persuasion check.
Persuasion check?
With advantage.
Oh, okay, I'm glad, because I just rolled it with advantage anyway. Persuasion is 22. I mean, sorry, 12. Minus, it's 22 minus 10.
Love persuasion. I mean,
Minus 10. Okay. So, that's a weird thing to say to someone.
Sorry, what was that?
It's a weird thing to say to someone.
He's a weird person.
Oh, okay. Alright. And they wander off towards their farms to get their 10 gold pieces. What would everyone else like to do at this point in time?
I mean, sausage.
I'll eventually rock in to the establishment through the front door, and I'll take whatever point of exhaustion I need to. But Ares has been on the hunt all night. Still looking for some owls. Hasn't found the bear yet, and I mean, I'll roll to see if I captured any owls.
Alright, go
I'm
ahead
planning on
and
bringing some owls in alive.
we'll do it
Bring back.
as a survival check.
This is the one. 18 plus. What's my survival? Plus 4. 22.
Sweet.
22.
Comes back with 22.
So you will take the point of exhaustion for being out all night. Searching the land, you realise that there are a lot of owls in this part of the world. Probably to do with the fact that it's heavy farmland and it's sort of known as the breadbasket of the Imperium. So there are a lot of field mice and things as well. And the owls, because of that ample supply of food, are very, very large.
Like, if I'm
Yeah.
say like 4 foot,
So
how big is an owl?
there were many owls that were probably hunting you rather than the other way around. But with that survival roll, you do manage to have captured an owl that is very close to you in size by sneaking up on it. You did take a little bit of damage, we'll say, from the talons of the owl. 4 points of piercing damage.
I'll take it.
And so Ares struts in with this owl. How have you got the owl secured?
Well, it would have been a glorious, glorious fight. But the end result is myself scratched, feathers sticking out of me, like giant wound in my side. But the owl is successfully wrapped up in some of my rope. It's tied. Its wings can't move. Its legs are sort of together, and I have it like. You know when like a bounty hunter steers something over the horse? The owl's like that, just on it, with its head continually like spinning, trying to like get me.
If I see this come in, Lilith is like rocking back on her chair and she just looks over and just goes and then falls back, crashes, and just goes and just starts laughing.
Do not laugh, Lilith, for I have been successful with one of the owls. If it's as challenge as mighty as this, the second one should be done within the hour, and then I've just got to find a bear, and that bounty is all mine. As you can see, I've done successful, and I chucked the sort of owl
Look at
just
me,
top of
Dairy,
the
and I'm just like still on the ground, sort of like getting myself up. I was like, do you want to tell him? Do you want me to tell him?
I'm just looking at the owl straight in the eyes, just kind of like.
I've already named this quarry. This is let us see, this is drumstick number 1. And
You
I
watch,
eyes
you
just
watch
Ares
like
also has some
Elin is like looking at
huge
you.
raking claw marks across his upper chest and face from this epic clash with this owl. You guys see it as it's not really that big for an owl.
Did he bring him a pigeon?
It's not really all that impressive at all, to be honest.
I'll walk over and
but
cut it loose.
it probably could fly away with Ares in its talons if it really wanted to. So, Ares now has a pet owl.
Ares, did you just learn the fly spell?
Pegasus.
I think I just did. With proper time and training, as long as the guards that posted this quest don't need the owlbear for a particular reason, or this owl and the bears later, I will keep this owl as my companion. Because I don't know where our 2 other members went, and our nice little priest, but they had a pet owl as well. So I could do the same thing.
That room was empty this morning, by the way.
Why you don't say?
And I was not there for any particular reason. I just walked by and was knocking on everybody's doors. Falls just told me to go fuck myself, so he didn't use those words back.
If we were to go up there, we would not find 2 rather conspicuous bloodstains.
No, it was no. Excuse me. What are you implying there?
That you are sloppy in your methods.
Firstly, I'm definitely not. And you wouldn't know if that was the case, and I'm not telling you that it was, and because it isn't.
Where is
So upstairs.
Falsus is still upstairs, yes. Falsus is
next to the bloodstains?
So uncharacteristically, I have not gone for my morning priestly elfish elven
Breakfast ones.
walk or wines, and
Has the shaken stepped in yet?
I've been deep in thought, and I get up from my bed where I've been sitting thinking things with my hands clasped together, and I throw on a satchel with a few things, and I'm just in my pull my boots, my traveling pants, and my white traveling shirt, and I bust out the door looking for Aragon's room.
Alright, you find him, he's towards the end of the hall, he got his own room.
So I bash on the door. Aragon! Yeah, uncharacteristically,
It takes a few goes. He is definitely sleeping and he can hear snores coming, but eventually he's like, aye, what is it? What is it?
How long have you got before we depart?
Aye, what's the time now?
Well, it's the morning.
Let's say... You get a thump as he rolls out of bed and lays on the ground.
Clearly no rush hour in. Is that
morning.
what you're saying?
Early morning or morning? Like,
I walk across the room, throw open the windows, and I look outside.
Morning. Right.
And about what time is it, Dungeon Master?
You've got another bit later than the rest of the group, so we're looking at probably more around the 8 o'clock in the morning because the rest of them are up fairly early.
Mm-hmm.
Far too early for a dwarf of Araden's lifestyle, but he does eventually blink his eyes open and struggle up because I'll get some food and we can head out.
Well, I just wanted to know how much time we have here. Is there any urgency?
How much time do you want?
Well, I want to go right away, but I don't think that anybody else does.
Aye, well, that's fine with me.
Well, it's not fine with me, but I guess, at the end of the
Close
day...
his eyes. Aye, it's alright.
Sleep.
I sighed, stormed out the door, I slammed the door, and so I walked downstairs, down the hallway, downstairs, and what do I see down there?
Chaos.
Currently, you see Ares, who looks like he's been sliced open by some kind of vicious beast, with an owl. Was it tied up? Was it tied up?
Yeah, it's tied up.
So fully tied up and
Wings tied up
strapped
and
up and
tails
it's
tied up.
squawking, and he's put the thing over the head so that it's relatively quiet and now sleeping in the
That's
day.
a good idea. That's
Um,
what I did.
That's
definitely what I did, yeah.
But you can see that he's still bleeding in parts from this wild night that he appears to have.
Mm-hmm.
He's all dishevelled. There is grass and bits of wheat attached to his mane and his lower horse half in the coat.
And are these three sitting at the bar or a table or something?
There, you see
I'm
Lilith
standing at the moment.
recline
because
with... Oh, yeah.
I fell over, put my chair back up, but she's kind of just like leaning on the end of it.
Yeah.
The two gentlemen have left, so Lolliput is likely. What is Lolliput up to now?
I know what Lolliput is up to, but Duncan Knuckle is finishing off a hearty breakfast of farm-to-table produce.
I take in the scene and, I sort of storm over to the bar, muttering under my breath some words that if Duncan Knuckle is listening would recognise. And I ask the barkeeper for 2 breakfast wines. And I need them right now.
Breakfast wine, eh?
Yeah,
Let me
look,
see what
it's
I've-
wine, but it's for breakfast.
Yeah, well, okay.
Preferably sweet.
What colour do you want? You've got white, and I've got. What colour is that? Oh no, that looks like it's yellow.
Is it sweet?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll take 2.
Alright. He pours bottles or glasses?
Glasses,
Okay.
please.
Alright. He pours 2 glasses.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Just put it on the tab. Thank you.
All right, I'll put it on
What
tab,
what
all
what have you done? What have I missed?
Oh, what have you missed? Get ready for a tale of the ages.
Ares went and got an owl.
We'll put a pin in that. What did I miss?
Vidiri was sniffing the feathers of the owl, but nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
Tale for the ages. It's
Falsus, my friend, take a seat and join the party.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Lilith, can you explain what's going on?
He went out all night and caught an owl.
Yes.
This one
Lolliput?
is I honestly don't know. Something. What are you doing, Lolliput? You're being a lawyer. What is a lawyer?
Oh! You're addressing me.
Yes,
I was mistaken because you did not use my name.
I
Not my
did use your
title.
name. Your title. Is he mentally ill?
No, I wouldn't think so. I certainly knew.
Vidiri just
Oh,
found
he's
us a-
probably like me. He has multiple people inside
Yeah, he's different now. It's fine.
Yeah, that seems to be a thread. Well,
You are a wonderful collection of employees, and I love having you in this service.
right.
there. He like fully throws himself into these personas.
I'm going to take my breakfast wine. Well, I come and fetch me from the temple. I need to pray on matters, salute, save a soul as the moon waxes and wanes. So
Have you got the bounty on you?
does all life?
Depends on me.
Falsus, allow me to accompany you. I'm headed to the
Yeah.
town hall myself.
Just a slip.
I'll try and pickpocket it off you.
Alright, go for it.
There's a reason.
You've got to be 12.
Yep. 22.
Wow.
It's because I've like grabbed a sausage
Yeah.
and I'm like slowly trying to lift the bag off the head.
By the way, like, Edelin has not stopped staring at you since you came in with the owl. It's just got this stare on it where it's just like... And then, like, a
Completely
sausage goes in front of it as I put it in front of it and it just goes...
Funny enough, that's what the owl will eventually do, but I've like gone the wrong way, so its head's gonna go 180, out of nowhere, surprise, snag the sausage out. And I'm like, I took a finger off.
This is definitely going to be called the sausage episode.
It's a big sausage
Ares
breakfast.
unfurls the bounty. It says Owlbear. It's a creature that's half owl and half bear. It's not owls and it's not bears. We need to go and look for an owlbear.
You don't understand. If anyone would want to listen to my story, this thing fought like a bear.
I'm sure it did.
It was ferocious. There was talons. There was magic. There was carnage. It was... I couldn't believe it swooped me was the funniest thing. I was out in the field. I was searching and looking out. And then out of
Probably
nowhere...
thought you were a prairie mouse.
I think it saw me as a mighty challenge. Swooped me from behind. I was so... my reflexes were on point. And I turned around and I caught it straight out of the air with one hand. And then after mighty punches, I didn't even have to use a sword or like a tree branch that accidentally fell on it. I captured it, got my rope, one lasso sweep, swoom, tied it up, almost like magic, but better because I did it. And then after this mighty tussle that the Owlbears' perspective was maybe like 2 hours of fight. For me, 5 seconds.
It's an owl.
But it fought like the bear.
Right. But we need to actually go find the creatures that this bounty wants. We'll do that today. It's fine.
Ares, my
You
friend.
might want to let this one go, though, unless you have plans for it and you're not eating it.
Well, its name is Drumstick. I named it.
Ares, my friend, it seems you may have encountered an owl with a spirit of a barbarian,
Like the mighty Equilax.
like the mighty Equilax. I think we should consider this a win and one of your mighty tales for us to share with the good folk of this town. So
Excellent.
surely you have rid them of a foe worse than any measly owlbear.
Honestly, that is the best way you've ever spoken about it. Duncan. So he's like, I get the grin, and he's like, all right, well, what should we do with Drumstick then?
We
He should-
and the owl's just like,
Now I'll cut it loose.
it's happened.
Yes.
Immediately starts attacking me.
Everyone runs out.
I thought it was a big owl. No, it's like a
It's a normal size owl. It's just big to him.
Because I'm like 12 feet, and like owls are like
It's not a
2 feet.
small
Like,
owl.
Do you
What's
want
this
me attack roll slightly just to
like 5'11" vibes.
I'm like 4'11".
Fine. higher than the last roll?
Alright, so describe what happens for us.
Well, I mean, you're regaling. I just moved behind him without him really noticing, and then daggers, and then the owl's able to just, and then whatever it does after that, I step away.
What was that?
Does it
Yeah.
here?
What was that look, DM? Something happened.
Aries. Does a 21 hit your arm?
Oh no.
Yes. Yes, it
Alright.
does. By a significant margin.
Oh, man.
Just,
So
just be
the
sure,
owl
Jesse.
breaks free and
Andy
lets
loves
out
his
an
character.
incredibly loud squawk. Its head is still covered, so we're just going to see whether or not it can actually see you.
Can I try to maybe put some
Actually, I'll
fire
roll
in the
higher, so-
way so it doesn't
Okay,
doesn't
so
come
I'll
towards us,
roll
it
that with
goes
disadvantage then.
the opposite direction of the heat and the.
That's a natural one. So combined with the heat and
so it's
flame
on fire. Now.
and the hood over the top of the owl does catch fire as it swoops in to attack Ares. It panics and slams into the table and flips over, and it's on the floor, and its wings are flapping. And
I would like to tip
absolute chaos.
I want to tip the picture over the juice over the owl to put it out.
roll
Not the
me,
breakfast wine.
roll
though.
me a D100,
To see if you
and we'll see whether there is juice or alcohol
No.
within
Oh
this picture.
no.
Even if it's
Could get so much
I know
worse.
every number's going to be cracking. 71.
It is water,
Hey.
or it is juice that you manage to pour over the owl, and it does quench the flames. The owl is still panicking and fluttering around, but it is beginning to calm. If anyone would like to try and calm the owl, they may roll.
Edelin is going to try.
Ares is going to sprint
Okay.
out of the room
Go ahead.
like a hero.
Now, because Edelin is part owl,
That's a critical failure.
A terrifying
Oh
part owl.
no.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yep, that's fine. Roll advantage.
You roll four.
I am horrified that the owl's free after that gruesome battle, so I'm 100 feet
Ares
away.
is having flashbacks.
He's coming for me.
It's coming for me. I'm outside. I don't know where I'm
that
going,
is-
but I'm going.
That is actually an 18.
Hey.
Edelin
Kind of like
pops
monkeys
over,
over
and, yeah,
and just sort of goes like this.
and you can hear this little sort of which half of Edelin is owl? Is
The
it
head.
owl head? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you
it
hear
goes-
the little sort of
Oh.
Oh, little
and,
hoots.
and the sort of purring sound that they can make, and the owl does eventually calm, and just sort of snuggles up next to Edelin.
Edelin will actually lead it out, so jump over to like a windsill and show where to go, and it'll
But
just,
the owl-
just takes it over.
Jumps up on this windowsill and is about to flap off and fly off and achieve its freedom. Ares is gone. Is anyone going to? Would anyone like to try and recapture the owl for
I
Ares?
just want to open a window.
No. I just set it on fire, so.
I'm on my way out the door. I tried to not have all the chaos.
So there are feathers everywhere.
As soon
There are
as I walk out
scratch
the hallway,
The owl, drumstick number 1, does fly off into its freedom into the crystal clear blue skies, and
it's not swooping.
in a flurry of feathers, And there are scratch marks all over the beautiful polished tavern floor. There are feathers. There are scorch marks. There's some blood.
I get out before the
Whose
bartender
blood
I
is
sits
that?
leave.
down.
I leave the tavern.
Bartender is completely panicked. He's looking around. He has
Well, he
no
was down there
idea
the whole
what's
time.
going on. He's confused. He's basically stunned, and he's looking at his beautiful floor, and there's a tear rolls down his cheek.
Is the bed okay?
I'm sensing a trend that perhaps we might not want to stay in towns very long.
I'm adding that to the tab. And the mattress.
I'm not paying for that.
I'm gone. No, I've been gone.
Okay,
No.
I'm going. I'm coming
As
back.
soon as they burnt the floors, yeah, nah, that's it.
For many reasons, we may want to not stay too long in the town. I fear that a negative reputation may be building for our small band.
You hear, why would you make a bed out of hay?
It's straw. My precious antique straw.
Well, why don't we go and repair some of that?
It was passed down.
Why don't we go and repair some of that reputation? We'll go get these owlbears for the bounty. They've been causing a lot of problems.
I spoke with Alan this morning. He is,
Incapacitated.
well, I think he'd like to get moving sooner rather than later. So perhaps, we can get on with the work that you guys have created for us this morning, it seems. I look at the bartender and give him a nod. And I'll mend that when I'm back.
He looks at you. Make a persuasion. Well, yeah, persuasion check.
Okay.
Because you likely actually will mend it.
I'm intent on mending it.
He's still in that sort of state of stunned disbelief where he's not quite sure what's just happened or how it's going to be fixed, but
Yeah, well, so I rolled an 8.
an 8. He just looks at you.
Fine, would you like me to mend it now?
Yes.
God, just I look at.
I'm already out. I'm going.
Same roll.
I'm actually still there.
You're all alone,
I'm just
effectively.
standing there. I'm just like,
Lilith,
mm.
I mean it when I say I don't want to be the cranky one.
You're not the cranky one.
Well, good. And so I look at the floor, and so I start to. I ask the barkeep for some cloth and some polish, and I will use mending on the floor where it's been marked.
Alright, so you go through. It takes a couple of different casting because of the different variations of damage, but you do repair and restore the floor. He is very thankful, but he goes ahead and he does say, "I'm still adding it to the tab,
Which part?
all of it."
All of what? I just mended it.
I will be adding mental anguish and suffering, a small onto the bill, a fee of 2 gold pieces, in addition to the rooms and food.
Look, to be fair, I think that's probably that's quite a reasonable price, given what you've
I
just
think
experienced.
I agree. Yeah, that's right. It is.
I was about to say, is that a lot?
Well, I don't know. I think I would charge quite a lot more if I was doing this as a job. So I think he got off easy, really. Wait, we're paying him to do work that I did. Well, I guess I'm repairing for us. Anyway, I need to go to the temple, and I heard, was Lolliput going by Duncan? Did I catch that right? Duncan?
I think that was the name he said. I wasn't really paying attention.
Duncan Knuckle? And he is educated in matters of law and contracts. Did you know?
I told you, it's multiple personality disorder.
Interesting. Okay. Did he get some work this morning too? He said
Yeah,
St.
there
Paul.
was some people here who was like talking about stuff. There was deeds sold to land.
Speak
I
on the
don't know.
details, Lilith.
Well, I don't know how that kind of works here in the north.
Yeah, fine. I'll take a third breakfast wine to go. Thank you. And
He refills one of the glasses and
let's go.
hands it over. If you're hanging out with them,
catch
you'll
up with them.
probably need a few more of these.
We'll go sort his thing
It's
out,
one
and
of
then
those
we'll go
little
hunt
to-go
the
coffee cups.
owlbears. I don't know where.
To-go.
Hopefully, he hasn't gone
It's
after
to-go.
themselves. They'll tear him to shreds. Who struggled with an actual owl.
I hope there's a good reason for this bounty. There's no need to murder creatures senselessly, but I guess we'll see.
What did it say again on it?
They've been causing chaos on local farms and destroying crops. So they've been raiding farms and stealing, taking the wheat out of the fields and trashing the crop.
Not the precious straw.
And they've attacked anyone who's gone near where their lair is, and they have killed a couple of people.
Are they herbivorous?
No, owlbears are carnivores.
I grab my quarterstaff from the
Like a
weapon
real-
rack as we leave the inn, looking for wherever the the fearless and mighty conqueror of ours, Ares, went to. The grumbly, kind of quippy Vidiri, and wherever our multiple personality friend has gone to.
Where do they find Ares? Where will Foster's find Ares? How far has he managed to go?
Well,
Small
in
town.
his mind, he's just going to go to whatever building has like a large enough awning for him to like sort of like hide from the skies from. And he's like, oh, I've made an arch enemy today. We will meet again in battle. And our conquest, our story will be glorious.
I totally hope at session 100 we come back to this town and that is exactly what happens.
Drumstick number 1 comes back. He's got drumstick
He's
number
like,
2 with him.
We get to the
Cinch
castle.
marks on them, you know.
We get to the castle at the end of the campaign, and the seat turns around. And it's just the owl sitting in it.
This is his villain origin story.
When he got kidnapped as
He
an
was
owl.
innocent.
So which building might meet these requirements such that we find Ares?
I'd say Videri would be following, because as quickly as Ares was moving, he was easily seen.
So we might-
It is a relatively small village. It only has a handful of buildings, so he's not too hard to find.
And we are following Feather and Flame.
Yes.
So presumably there's a trail.
Yes. So you do manage to track him down. Videri is with him. Duncan where has Duncan made his way to?
What?
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
There we go.
Not the sausage episode at all.
Oh, I'm quite happy.
Where
He's
are
asked
you?
where Duncan is.
Yeah.
Oh, I made my way to the shack. Was it on the northeast of town, the town hall?
Yes. On that northern side of town.
As I'm making my way there, I would like to do I'm assuming there's probably like a clothesline of just like various town garments drying somewhere, or
Make an investigation check to see whether you can find one. Most of the towns are sort of outside the village itself, but no, you don't manage to find
that's a
anything.
5,
really.
folks.
You come across some clothes that look like they probably belong to a halfling. So if you would like to try and adjust those,
I take the hat.
take the hat. So you've got this tiny little top hat type fedora thing that goes on, just sits on the very edge of their head.
Now, as I'm walking, I'm going to take off my coat, which is bright and colourful, and flip it inside out to kind of show the drab kind of grey side of it, and kind of put that on. And it's almost like as I'm walking to the shack, I'm like getting into my disguise kit, and I'm starting to kind of like apply some stuff here and like change my skin tone slightly, put a nose prosthetic on, like thicken up the eyebrows with some darker eyebrows, and so can completely kind of change in my race. I can't do anything about my ears at the moment, particularly with such a small hat. But the goal is to kind of look like a darker haired elf.
All right. Go ahead and make you can be performance because you're playing that role of the small time country lawyer. To see how well we sort of fit into that persona that you're going for with the change of clothing and things.
15?
15, all right. You've done a pretty good job. You look a bit more respectable, a bit more in place within the environment you find yourself. So you're approaching what makes the town hall of this very small village. Looking around, it is basically a building that is much smaller than the tavern, but it's probably the only other one that has an enclosed. It is 2 stories and has a proper sort of tiled roof. Everything else sort of has and I'm trying to think of the wording that we have here when it's like the twig type roofs. Thatched roof, that's the one. And only the inn and the town hall actually have a proper tiled roof of ceramic tiles.
Okay.
And there is a single guard standing outside. who looks rather bored. Doesn't look like he sees much in the way of action or anything of interest in town.
Can I see my companions anywhere coming out of the tavern?
You would see them as they exit the tavern and on their hunt for Ares. You see Ares, we sort of disappeared at about the same time. But you do see them come out looking and searching for him and the trail of fire.
My friends! I'm heading in here.
Oh, there he is. Quick.
Yeah, before he gets up to too much mischief.
Yeah, I turn to follow that way.
Like Hadiri's found me, I'll make my way there too. Just going like, oh, I almost had the owl again. I saw it was going to escape, so I pre-planned my capturing, but I just couldn't jump that high.
Without thinking, I give you a little pat. Thank you.
Oh, that's the recognition I need. Drumstick number 1.
So Duncan Knuckle would like to approach the town guard who's looking bored, extend my hand. Duncan Knuckle, my friend.
He's
Pleasure
leaning
making
against
your
a
acquaintance.
heavy spear and he's just almost half asleep. What?
I'm sorry to disturb your respite, but I have matters of grave importance. Myself, Duncan Knuckle, yourself.
Guardsman Frederick.
Frederick, that is a powerful name, and it suits you well.
Yep.
Now I have matters with the town council.
Alright, go in.
Thank you very much, my friend. You are doing a bang-up job.
And you hear a
Frederick?
slight snore before you're even in the door.
Frederick,
clearly doesn't see much. Yes.
I grab his shoulder. I appreciate you.
Oh, that's nice. Someone around here needs to. I keep this place safe. You see any bandits around here?
Frederick, I have business I must attend to. I'd love to converse with you later.
Alright, get in there. Townsman Armand is on duty this morning. Councillor Carson Armand.
Carson Armand.
I catch up with Lolliput and I whisper in his ears. Lolliput, what are you doing?
My friend,
Yes, my friend.
my name is Duncan Knuckle.
Duncan Knuckle. What are you doing?
I'm doing the good work that you would want done. And I burst open the door and I say, Carson Armand! It is just like an empty
Walking
room.
in, you see that there is just the one single room on that bottom floor, and there is a coffee table set up with some nice, comfortable leather and cushion seating, and there's sort of like a carafe of water and glasses there.
A craft, you
And
say?
sitting behind a nice oak desk that looks like it is worth quite a lot of money, is an older gentleman who has very, very white hair that goes down past his shoulders, and it is neatly braided at the back, and he's wearing a very fine crimson and purple robe. And he looks up, and he's got some parchment in front of him, and he appears to be writing and signing paperwork and things. He goes, Yes, I'm Councillor Armand. What is it?
Councillor Armand, forgive the dramaticism of my entrance.
I enjoy a good piece of drama.
I did this for the gravity of the situation for which we must
That
discuss.
sounds very ominous.
No.
What is it that brings you into my office today?
Before my staff bursts in here and makes a kerfuffle, I'd like to state the plan as I see it. I represent the interests of both Ether and Bertrand.
Oh, what is it this time?
They
Are they still
believe-
fighting over that farm of theirs?
Well, allow me to answer your question with another question. Is it true that
Very
you did
well.
endorse the sale of said land from an individual Liskin?
Liskin, look, let's have a look at the receipts. The receipt of sale in the town registers, shall we?
Great.
I believe it dates back to early last season that they bought that land.
That sounds correct.
He sort of opens a drawer to his side and he pulls out a very large leather-bound tome and starts flicking through it. He's like, let's see here. Year 131 we need, year 131. Flips it. Yes, here it is. Liskin Westcott. What were we talking about? Yes, the sale of that wretched piece of land.
Richard,
Well,
you say?
Now look, it says here that the holder of the deed is none other than a Preston, and Adria Preston. Where's this Westcott nonsense come from?
Liskin. I show him the receipt. You see here on the receipt, my friend, it does state that Liskin is the owner of said land, who has sold it for the sum of 500 gold to not only Ezra, but Bertrand. And you can see here where it states that it seems to have been endorsed by the council, which you represent.
He takes the parchment, he has a look. Oh, yes. Well, according to my records, this Westcott has no rights to be selling this. Let me see. He looks in there. He looks at the endorsement of the council and says, right, okay, look. This is not my problem. My instinct here is, and he's a very old gentleman, we'll just take the land for the council. That's probably the best thing here. And I will take control of the land.
And you will pay my clients the 500 gold each that they have been swindled.
How about this? We will divide the land in half. We'll tell them, because they're not the smartest people. Not the sharpest tools in the farm.
That is the conclusion to which I have also come
Now,
to.
we'll tell them that they can buy half the land off the other one for 250 gold. They'll exchange the gold. They'll both have half the land, and they'll both have their gold. And the matter will be settled. What do you think?
My friend, there seems to be some confusion in the arithmetic here. They have already out 500 gold
But
each.
if they give each other 250 gold,
Then they would be out
They're
750
not, because-
gold each.
Look. The plan is that Bertrand gives Ezra 250 gold, right? He's out 250 gold, right? Then Ezra gives Bertrand 250 gold, and neither of them's out any gold except the 500 gold that they spent. And then I can tax the hell out of both of them.
I understand the taxings is the most important matter for you. But
Look,
surely,
I mean, he's out of line, but he's not incorrect.
Lilith, when the behoovers did you get here?
I've been standing behind you the whole time. You just can't hear me. Because I'm good at what I do.
Councillor Amand.
Just to tell them, look, what do they want? What do they send you here for? You tell me what they want.
Listen, Councillor Amand, I've come here in a certain level of reverence for your station. Before, court proceedings must proceed. Now, I'm sure you can understand, as a barrister, as an attorney, and as a trial magistrate of the Imperium.
That's why we don't need to involve the Imperium.
I agree, my friend.
It's a simple matter.
It is a simple matter. I would like you to write up a writ of sale that bequeaths half the land as currently is to each party, Ezra and Bertrand.
Alright.
They will not be spending any more money because they are already victims of
They
crime.
wouldn't be spending any money.
This
Alright,
is,
look. What if this Preston comes looking for their land?
well, as I see it, you may enforce this land as the property of Preston's and then support Ezra and Bertrand as victims of crime and pay them back some amount of money to which they are being swindled.
Let's not go overboard here.
Or you may count your lucky stars that Preston Adria, or Adria Preston, does not come looking for her land.
Well, it's been a year, and I don't even know who this person is.
Preston Adria?
Yes, Adria Preston.
Adria Preston.
Never heard the name before.
It is a conundrum.
I was on the council last year, so it's strange that I don't remember. But
Okay.
we can individually approve these things, so it might not have actually been me.
Can I do an insight check on this gentleman here?
Yes, you may.
I'm trying to ascertain whether or not he's being manipulated in some way, shape, or form, or if he's just being deceitful. What was I doing? Insight. 9.
You get the impression that could possibly be the fact that he's very old and can't actually remember having anything to do with the situation. He doesn't seem to be genuinely trying to deceive you, but he himself might have no idea what the situation is, and he's trying to use it to his advantage, or he has himself been deceived.
My friend, I can see that we have disturbed you, and for that, I am truly sorry.
I will write up a deed of ownership for half the land for each one.
This sounds like a great outcome for all parties.
As long as they're happy.
I might just,
Tired of
if
this
I could interject, and I've taken a sort of like my hand goes behind my back, and because of its formal setting, and so it's almost like Faustus just he takes on this air. There seems to be, I am but a priest, but it seems that you seem to be omitting some basic facts here, gentlemen. Why should Adria Preston actually part with her land at all? I mean, I'm not. What are your clients' names?
Oh, my clients' names are Ezra and Bertrand, and I am a representative for purely their interests.
I see. So, as I understand it, Adria Preston is the rightful deed owner.
Yes, that's what it says.
Deed holder of the deed
Yes.
for this property.
Yes.
Unfortunately, 2 of your townsfolk were swindled by someone named Luscombe Westcott, or whoever.
That's it.
That's the side of the receipt.
It's exactly.
And what you're proposing is stealing the land from Adria Preston. Writing a new deed, and then giving it to Bertrand and Ezra.
Well,
I don't see any problem with that.
under Imperium law,
Yes.
the land is abandoned. It's been over a year since this Preston has used it. It can be seized by the local councillors and redistributed for the wealth of the Empire. And giving it to farmers certainly fits that bill.
So you are proposing that after 12 months now, you are taking ownership of the land and
Yes,
repurposing the deed,
Yes.
and you're going to give the land to these 2 gentlemen for free.
It seems to be the most, well, I'll get tax out of it.
Ultimately,
It's not generating anything at the moment because no one can use it because they're always fighting over it.
fine. Well, it just almost seemed like this was. It seemed unlawful, but.
Well, you're welcome to track down this Preston or this Westcott and figure out what's going on if you like.
She might require legal representation.
That's true, yes. Now,
Councillor Armand, I feel like we have come to a mutual beneficial decision here, and I will be pleased to inform my clients, both Bertrand and Ezra, of this decision.
yes, well, let them know that there is a slight charge for the drafting of a deed as a legal document, of course.
You don't say.
So,
Huh.
it's a win-win situation, really, isn't it?
And how much that charge may be, so we can calculate it into our total expenses.
That would be, let me have a look at the register here. What's that? It's 15 gold.
15 gold.
Yes.
Surely the emotional distress these 2 individuals have come upon, which is in no smart being enabled by, let us say, a slight fudging of procedures, might be worth a wavering of said tax, considering the benefits.
Waiver? No.
Considering-
That's 5 gold pieces. I can do it quite easily.
5 gold pieces? Listen, I may just be a small town lawyer, but I'd like to think that I do some good in this world, and if I can support my clients by paying this small legal price,
Yes,
then
well, yes.
this is what I will do.
You are a very good representative for these folks.
And
We
if
need more lawyer folk like yourself.
I firmly agree, my
That for
friend.
the little person, yes.
now, if you could just write up the agreement, that would be fantastic.
Indeed, I'll have it drafted and signed by the relevant people by about midday, yes.
The deeds themselves.
Yes. It's not a difficult matter, but it does take time for the legal jargon and annotations to be made and the records to be changed, but we can do it, yes, by lunchtime.
He is speaking true, my friend. I know these matters, for I am a legal man.
Now, what I would also like to do, on behalf of the town council, is place a bounty on the head of this Liskin Westcott. Alive, of course, we would like to have a chat with this alleged fraudster. Let me see.
Wolf kind of perks up at that. See,
If you ever come across
Owlbears
this
just go,
Preston, you send her to town so we can have a little bit of a chat.
Do you have any descriptive features or details you might tell us about Liskin Westcott that may aid in?
Look,
Did I mention I was
No,
also a bail's bondsman?
but the people who paid him money would probably know what he looked like, I would think.
This is Ezra and
Yes,
Bertrand.
that's it. That is to whom I am referring. Yes.
Are we capturing 2 people?
Just the one.
Why 1?
With 2 sacks of gold.
Oh, Liskin, we're getting...
50 gold. Oh, well, yes. 50 gold pieces I'll put on his head. Yes. Well, not his head. I want him alive, of course.
Dead or alive?
No,
Dead.
I can't. We won't be able to figure out this. How many other people do you think he's swindled?
Why?
This is a small town, and we fell victim. If he's passed through somewhere larger, he's probably got all this gold on him, or stashed somewhere that you're probably welcome to raid if you capture him.
He's just a small town criminal.
We would not consider such a thing at all. And I cannot speak to the mind of a liar or a charlatan. But I would assume that nothing would stop them from lying in every single place they go to.
That's
So we get him, he comes back,
Fix the local.
you'll pass
we'll turn him over to the Imperium, absolutely.
That's boring. Can't we just hang him here?
Well, I don't have a gallows.
Can I just
Nor do
stab
I
him?
have a magistrate in town.
Wow.
Quite a matter probably hasn't been sorted before.
Allow me to introduce myself. Duncan Knuckle, traveling magistrate.
How does anything happen in this place?
Oh, it's a small town, nothing.
No, I mean just in general. In these lands,
Well, the Templars come through and run.
if
these
he's
things
guilty, I can just.
What do they pass through here about every 3 months, and they take care of any legal matters for us.
That's too long. He could get away.
Well, probably yes.
Deal with the problem.
I've got one town guard. You saw him outside. He's
Yeah,
asleep
well,
most
if
of
we're
the
bringing him
time.
back, you say, you do all his thing.
You could have
this
been
weird thing is.
A band of
And then we'll
ogres,
just-
and he would have had no idea that you even walked past him. It's my nephew, you see. I had to give him a job, so we made him the town.
Is he talking about the same thing? Oh, I think I've lost him.
We all have a right to life. Perhaps questioning would simply be enough. I don't know why we need to end his life prematurely.
Look, he's a bad person.
Someone might have caught up to him and killed him already, to be fair.
That is true.
Yes. Stranger things have happened in the Imperium. But alas, I mean, we don't have watches. So
Would you look at the sun?
Sundial.
We've got about 2 to 3 hours before the documentation is prepared.
Well, we
I'll
should
have
see you.
my
Albert. And she walks out.
Oh, you're going after the
That's
Owlbears,
what
are you?
Yes, we are.
Oh, that would be appreciated there. Oh, ferocious beasts. Causing untold damage to the outer farms. We lost a couple of farmers, actually. They tried to trap the things. Still picking up pieces of them a week later. So, it's unfortunate. We need some adventurers such as yourselves to take care of them.
yes, we seem to be good at doing all manner of things, it appears.
Multi-talented.
All right. Is there anything else we would like to say to our elderly town councillor?
Well, when they're all in there talking with the
Yep.
councillor, I'm actually talking to guard Frederick.
Yes. What you said.
All right. We need to set up a new bounty with like a high reward, the highest the town can afford. This
Okay.
monster is
Alright,
fiendish.
so, basically, this is how it works.
Can you draw pictures? I'll describe the monster to you. You draw the picture. All
I'm a
right.
fantastic artist.
All right.
It's my passion.
Picture bat wings with like feathers,
Alright.
and then
Yep.
a head that spins all the way around with giant, monstrous, evil eyes, talons longer than my arms. I think the creature.
That's not very long.
Well, I'm actually a colossus in my village, so that's offensive.
I didn't mean to offend. Calm down.
But this mighty beast, I've named it, so make sure you write this down too. Drumstick number 1. If you call that out, it will swoop you, so careful.
Oh,
yes.
It's hyper aggressive. I was out searching the
highly
fields.
dangerous. Well, that puts it in the realm of probably 200 gold bounty.
I mean, it potentially might need even more to only the best adventure. Only I could have done it.
Why
But
don't
as
you
you
go
say-
and hunt it then?
I am suffering from a problem of other employment. I've got to leave town, but I don't want to leave all you kind folk defenseless or unknowing of this ferocious beast. It's like half demon, half dragon,
decent
half
job.
owl.
Alright, so he scratches out an image, and based off his roll, he's drawn this huge multi-headed amalgamation of all those creatures that looks absolutely nothing like an owl. It's more in the vicinity of some kind of wyvern
That's exactly it.
with a pointed scorpion tail but with an owl's head and beak. These huge talons that are 4 times the size of the creature.
And
these tiny little bat wings with feathers on them, yeah.
Sounds like a manticore.
Yeah. Yes, it's got most of manticore. He's got no idea what he is designing. And alright, look, I've
You
never
won't
seen this thing, but it sounds horrifying.
what's it called? It was a ferocious battle.
Well, we're lucky to survive this thing.
Lucky to survive, or skillful enough to survive,
Well,
is the way that I like to look at it. But I'm glad that you've got this exact picture down. Let the townsfolk know that it's not safe to go out into the fields at night. It might come down, swoop them. For a second, I was like off the ground. I felt like I was flying maybe 100 feet up in the sky before it dropped me back down. Like, be careful out there.
Oh, we will be careful.
Jesse, did you just design our next encounter?
Unless if
So
that's
we've got-
the case, it's
we've
going to
got,
be all that.
Oh no.
We've got 2 owls and a bear. We've got this bastardized manticore coming for us.
Lovecraftian owl horror.
No, he just likes to weave these tall tales.
I overhear the conversation as we're walking down out past Ares and Frederick the Guard.
I was like this at that point.
And I just shake my head and comment. He might have been killed. I mean, right, Ares?
Exactly, Falstus. It was such a demon. I could, as our friend Lolliput Duncan said, it's like the heart of a barbarian, like ferocious creature.
Just start to walk away. I call over my shoulder. Ares, who's putting up that bounty?
The city will, the town.
Oh.
I'm sure it's their duty to make sure that the right people come in to deal with the situation. And if we weren't leaving, I would hunt it down. I'm not scared at all, because I'm never scared. But yeah, now the city's going to take care of it. They'll bring in Ares 2.0, or if we come back, we'll take care of it and get the bounty.
Sounds good. I call back.
Awesome. Well, we might go ahead now and take our short break. So we will see you again in about 5 or 10 minutes' time. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in a little while. All right, we are back. Thank you for sticking around as we get on with the second half of our session. The group have just finished some legal proceedings, wheeling and dealing, and are now on the search for a couple of owlbears that have been causing chaos in the local countryside. So,
Oh wait,
over
no.
to you guys.
No, it was definitely 2 hours and 2 bears.
Where are Ishmi and Eleni? Surely these bounty hunters would have helped us, locate these owlbears. I mean, it's literally what they do.
I mean, there was 2 bounties, and we were really, really strong in looking for the owlbears, so maybe they went after the other one.
Yes.
They did seem kind of horny for goblins.
They also did leave when I was also outside. So whatever they did, it was at night time.
Did you scare them off with your...
Honestly, I think it could have been drumstick number 2. They went out hunting, saw the mighty beast that I managed to capture, and then left. They were like, just can't deal with that.
I take a look at Lilith. Did you get weird? Again.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't touch him.
The tent. Remember the tent?
Yeah, that was innocent.
Well, I think we've given them plenty of reason to perhaps find other employment. But, that's... So, they said the farms, right? They've been attacking farms.
I pull out the bounty thing, and I'm like, it's what it says, people died, that kind of stuff.
I can show you where I got attacked.
Oh, well,
What was
where
that
did you
field?
go?
See that field, like 2 over there? 2 fields down?
Is that
Over there.
part of the outer farms?
The one near a big oak tree.
Right, he was right in the centre of town.
Yeah.
Big sort of like tree.
Probably the
I'll look at it.
safest-
I'll look
the
at the
safest
thing.
place in,
And it was like-
50-mile radius.
Humour me then. Why don't we just do where I want to go, and if I'm wrong, then we'll do it your way then. We'll try the fields in the middle of town again.
How about we play this game? It's very popular in my little town of Oakvale. It's called Shears, Parchment, and Boulders.
Oh, boulder parchment shears.
I don't think we say it that way.
She's just like,
The rules are simple. Each one defeats the other. So the boulder will crush the shears will cut the parchment, and then the parchment will cover the boulder.
I think we're familiar with this game, Otis.
Oh, I thought it was just exclusive to my little
To Oakfield.
to Oakfield, but that's fine.
It's made its way up.
How about we play that then? And whoever wins, we go to theirs.
you. I'll look at the forces. I was like,
Look, I mean, fine.
3, 2, 1, shoot. Are you ready?
all right, ready, let's go.
3, 2, 1, Aries. I actually tricked you.
Jesus.
Aries defeats everything, so let's go to the field since I won.
We're not going to the fields, and I walk towards them.
I take a different tack. Can I see any locals around?
No, we're going to the outer
Yes,
forest.
there are some people around. Absolutely.
I approach the person who's literally right next to us, who's like a townsperson, and ask, "Did you have any? We've heard about owlbear attacks.
Oh yes, the owlbears, they're horrendous creatures.
Yeah, this is a small town. Whose farm was last attacked?
Oh, it was out on the western side somewhere.
Fantastic.
About probably. Oh, what farm was that? That was old Jessop's farm.
Jess, could you point the way, sir?
Oh, it's about 3 hours march. We'll walk to the northwest, just as you start to hit the sort of the rising hills and that lead up to the highlands.
3 hours. Well, the farms must be large here. Fine. So 3 hours this way.
Yes.
Well, that wasn't so hard. And I just over here.
Oh, that was Aries, hits Aries and creates Mega Aries. So I'm gonna get
The core of the mind starts to shatter. Aries hits Aries.
Reality.
As the immovable object hits the unstoppable force.
Aries somehow grows an inch.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Aries.
1, 2, 3.
Ow.
Dashes.
Lil just goes.
Drumstick number 2.
Why didn't I think of that?
All right.
So it seems our course is set. Shall we?
Yes, we're following you.
No, please. Let's follow Aries.
Yes, we're the man that my brilliant plan led us to.
I mean, after all.
Yes, to the northwest. So it's about mid-morning now, so you're likely to arrive sometime around lunch or just after, giving the councillor time to draft up your documents. So as you leave, the mid-morning light of the sun rises over the horizon, embracing vast expanse of the grasslands before you. Soft green hue sways gently in the breeze, creating a mesmerising dance of colours. There are patches of brown tilled earth, adding a nice contrast to that verdant landscape. But as you head further north, the farmlands start to give way to some more prominent hills as you sort of enter the foothills of the northwestern highlands of the Imperium. You pass numerous fields of wheat farms before moving into more vegetable-based produce. And you come across, after walking for about 2.5 hours, you do come across a farmstead that is probably about where you expected to find the rumours of the Owlbears.
Are there any feathers in the area?
Make an investigation or a survival check.
So as we get closer, I'm getting mage armor up, and I'm also going to have Edel help me look for tracks of owlbears and things.
I got a 22.
22.
That was a
You
19
do
plus
find,
3.
as you sort of enter this particular farm, which is Old Jessop's farm, that there are sort of some blood marks and stains on the dirt and in the entry to the farm. And there are a few scattered feathers and things like that about, yes.
Badiri definitely grabs a feather. But not making it
Right.
too...
It's a lovely deep purpley colour
Ooh.
that fades into a bit of white.
As Vidiri, do you point out the blood and feathers, although we don't see you take the feather, may I ask?
I see. I think you guys see me kind of like going over to an area and kind of like looking at it, acting really kind of suspicious. It would lead you to see what's kind of going on.
Mage armor.
What are you?
Hey, John. So as you approach, you do see 2 buildings as part of the farm. There is a fairly well-built farmhouse with a nice blue thatched roof, and there is a stables as a separate building attached. And you can see as you're approaching that there are crops scattered all over the place. There are remnants of corn and wheat and other vegetables around that look like they've been half eaten and left by pests or possibly the owlbears.
I notice Lilith and Lolliput casting incantations and donning their mage armor.
For effect, my mage armor does kind of look shadowy in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something kind of like misty.
Do we think there are owlbears nearby?
Looking at that, okay.
It's never a bad, never unfortunate to be prepared. But can I where Vidiri's got the
I've lost the camera. I can't balance it.
you just got to collapse the legs a little bit.
Alright, I will fix that in just a second. I'll just swap scenes for a sec so that I don't make everyone at home dizzy. Apologies for that.
You're on a roll.
It's all part of the show, folks. It's all part of the show. You don't pay extra for that.
There was an earthquake. Didn't we just mention there was some kind of big forest?
I felt it too.
It was the Mega Aries.
Yeah,
The
that's
Mega
what it was.
Aries.
We played again and got Mega Aries on Mega Aries, and now the real world changed.
You don't look like we're balanced.
Broken through that reality into this one.
You're so powerful.
Have our tech support fix that one up in a second.
Tech support.
Set director coming in.
Are the stables empty?
Stay down.
Oh, nice close up of Andrew.
Ah.
Alright, so look at that, he fixed it easily.
It's like I've done this a couple times.
Perfect, yeah, that's good. Alright, so they can see the army of other minis on the side. Maybe encounters.
Let's move those out.
Now, Aridin has not accompanied you on this hunt, so let's get him out of the way.
I'm pretty sure we can
Nothing
use
to
these
see.
divine smiles.
The optional support we could have had if we just woke him up.
Yep.
Sensing trouble.
You tried to wake him up, to be fair.
Sensing trouble, I'll use aid and reflecting on how proficient or the lack thereof proficiency our group has been, I casted on Ares.
Nice. Ares doesn't need it.
Lilith.
Just in case.
And Lolliput.
It says 5'10".
It is, yeah.
Right, so mark off those 5 temporary hit points. For those who have it, have A. Myself some dice.
Thank God that was a.
So we're approaching the farm. We've seen the building. You're approaching from the southeastern corner of the farm because it was to the northwest. There you go, just geography. And how are we approaching now that we've sort of entered the gates of the farm and moving towards the buildings?
I'd say definitely expecting that there's something around, not really making too much of a fuss. Or...
I'll be at the back of the group trying to be quiet. But
Yep.
Combat is not my thing.
I'll sort of be close to the front. I'm just scanning out, and as she does, she's gonna cast Shadow Blade. Now.
So you've got Shadow Blade. Where would Lolliput be in this?
I'd say middle.
Middle?
Yeah, doing a perception check at some point.
And our centaur friend.
Well, I might actually use a skill I haven't used before.
Charge!
You gallantly scrolled me. No, I might want to try and use my stealth stat. Is there any wheat fields or corn fields right next to us, or?
There are some fields that are high enough that areas could quite easily disappear into the stalks, yes.
Excellent. I would like to do that.
Go ahead and roll stealth check.
With disadvantage.
Also, I'm going to be annoying. Edelin's in the sky.
That's little
Directly.
cornfield
213, so dirty 20.
Just put it next to me.
What? 213 with disadvantage.
I feel like the predator.
Or around me. That
Well,
Alright.
the proficiency in stealth is because
Yeah,
I'm so short.
sorry, what was it?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay, so you see Ares sort of scutter off into some grass and just disappears.
Just muttering.
It's like the raptor scene in Jurassic Park where there's just a bit of shifting grass.
Don't go into the long grass.
Now, we don't have a speaker this week, do we?
I didn't bring it.
No, I don't have mine either, so we won't have the battle.
Sorry, let's go.
I'll try and add some in post. We'll give it a crack in post production this week and see how it goes.
Well, feel free to put on some combat music.
You can listen to your own, to set your own tone mood if you like.
We're surely not going to fight, are we?
After all the effort that Mike put into finding us some nice royalty-free music, we have forgotten our speakers. And I did go through that for you. There's some good stuff there. And Lolliput wants to make a perception check, so go ahead and do that.
Sorry, I was making a perception check.
Oh yeah, you go. You said it before.
And Edelin. Well, I got a 15 and Edelin got a 22.
All right. So there are very fresh footprints around, and you do hear a very large snoring/purring sound coming from the stables, and some scratching and snuffling from around the back
Of the stables.
of the stables.
I look back at the group and I'm just like, I think they're here.
I'll pull out my arcane focus from my pouch. Thrums softly with divine light. I'm ready, Lilith. I got your back.
I'll go sneak in. You hit from the bushes. And then you see the grass.
But really quickly.
Really
quickly.
At 100 feet. 100 feet.
So how close would Ares like to get to that? The grass, the stalks sort of end probably about 15 feet from the stables themselves. So we're probably about over here.
Yeah, drop me there. Do
Yep.
I get to see
Go ahead and make a perception check. Now, are you going to the very edge and trying to peek out? Or
It's like, do you reckon that's cocked or
If
no?
you hit your phone, but I don't know.
I'll do it in the box. That's why I got a box. I wish it wasn't disadvantage.
Was that a 1?
It went from a nat 20 to a 3.
so you can't really see too much in there. It's a bit too dark in the sort of thatched straw roof. And there's just too much stuff in that stable to really see what's going on in there. or you don't really hear anything.
I'm gonna send a signal that I didn't discuss with anyone, and I'm gonna grab like a piece of corn from the ground. I'm gonna launch it straight up into the air, and it's gonna fall back down. And I'll try and catch it, so I'll like let them know.
Make make a just dexterity check. See how good we are at catching this.
17 plus 3.
So you do manage to catch it, meaning that it doesn't hit the ground and alert our friends that may or may not be hiding in the area. Although from our perception check before, we're pretty certain that there are some sounds coming from that stable, although it could be horses.
Did someone just see some corn?
Could be 2 bears, it could be an owl, could be...
I'm gonna swing around this way towards the farmhouse itself.
Towards the farmhouse?
Yeah.
So moving
So
towards the
just-
farmhouse.
I'm gonna move stealthily as well.
So go ahead, roll stealth. As you approach the door, you do see that it has been broken open. With large scratch and claw marks.
7, is that 13? 12. 17.
Alright, so you approach. You feel pretty well hidden. Let's just double check that. Yep. You feel like you've done pretty well. As you sneak up to that front door and have a little peek in. There are, as I said, large scratch marks across the door, and it has been broken off one of the hinges. It's so slightly ajar and askew. And if you want to roll a perception check, or whether you want to go inside, is up to you.
I'm just gonna check it.
Yep. So go ahead and roll perception.
Keep moving around. 14.
14. You can see that there is some tossed furniture and blood marks just inside the door, as though someone tried to escape into the house after some sort of scuffle. You don't see any body or anything.
I ignore that and I can just keep coming around this way. I want to get
Yep.
more visual in this way. And I look back at the group. I assume
Yeah.
nobody's following me,
No,
right?
I'm looking for a signal from Lilith.
So Lilith's gone around the
Shadows
side
fade out.
towards the back of the main farmhouse area. Everyone else still waiting for a signal?
Yeah, well, I'm looking to.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to kind of get a read from Lilith about, is that cabin cottage clear as she's kind of moving around.
I look back at you and I'm just like,
Cool. So I'm going to make it a slow trek towards Ares, kind of like within support distance of Ares. Tiger tanks, 2 of them.
Very
I
nice.
see Lolliput moving towards me, and I'm like, good, he saw my message.
So
The corn never lies.
Lilith went into
I'm
his
gonna take
house.
cold with
Yeah,
me.
so
Oh,
Lilith is
right,
now down
right,
the side of
right.
the house.
Okay.
Yep. Just down that left side there.
Yeah, I'd probably,
oh shit.
I'd be following close behind.
Close behind Lilith.
Yeah.
I'll peek around the corner.
Right, make a perception check. 15. You do see a very large brown, black and white owlbear using the side of the stables as a scratching post.
I sort of like go like this to you just to like push you back as
Doesn't
like,
seem to be paying much attention to its surroundings, but you do see that large owlbear there.
What'd you see, Lilith? It's over there. And I think I heard snoring inside, so the other one's inside the, what do you call it, the place where you put your pigs and horses. We should let everybody know. Okay.
I'll do that.
Yes.
So I go back and I look over at Lolliput, Deary. I don't think I can see
Out into the open or just to
cornfield
the...
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna slowly be
Yep.
going
So
into
I'm still
the
sort of,
so.
sort of against the wall, hiding, sort
Yep.
of solid snake style, but a priest, so not looking very solid snaky. And I go, pointing it around the, sort of in the direction of where it's been spotted.
Lolliput throws up a signifying hand signal that I get you.
How confident am I?
Well, I mean, like I make a eye contact with you.
What's that, sorry? Come
I'm
on,
gonna come down
All right.
to here.
down to there.
I can count.
If you want me to restore from.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll another stealth check as you come out into the open. And just sneak around that corner.
Can Ares enter the
13.
stables as well?
Yep,
It's gonna leave the corn.
you certainly can.
But I'm bringing the corn.
What was it, sorry?
13.
13. So that owlbear does... Well, he's not paying attention. Does notice, as Lilith tries to sneak around the back, Let's add a very high-pitched screech.
Shit.
And surge forward
That's
just
very loud.
as Ares is entering the stables.
Sees the other one.
And as you enter those stables, I'll just take the top off.
Ooh, modular.
That one comes off too.
You do see the bulk of another owlbear just sitting inside the... so it's going to be very close quarters combat within the actual stables themselves. But it appears to be sleeping. But it is stirred by that high-pitched screech. So we will roll some initiative. Now I'll run the owlbears separately.
Initiative's not an ability roll, is it? It's just
It
own
is.
It is. Damn it, that's another nat 20 that I'm losing out on.
Okay, so
Oh,
is there
for
anyone
drumstick number 2.
25 to
Suffering
20?
free cry, right?
Suffering from
20,
being creative.
25 to 20.
No one? 20 to 15.
19. Oh no.
In all fairness, I should have had a 23.
That's true.
10 to 15.
12 Faustus.
At least I got Shadow Blade up.
13
That's actually
Aries. Roll an A.
Vidiri got a 10.
Okay.
Lolliput.
As a pre-combat
Ten
thing, can I
and
chuck my
Lolly.
pawn in the group to let them know
9
that
for
I've
your
got
boy.
9.
Yeah, boy.
Your boy's got
So
9.
that gives us with Lilith up first. So what would Lilith like to do at this point?
Alright. We're going to get some blade song on because otherwise I'm going to get railed by these things.
This is like a challenging
Says
counter.
Andy, not Lilith, because Lilith wouldn't know that.
Yeah. She just knows that she's going to do her bread and butter moves. So she starts incanting. Let's do the Darkened Heart poem. My heart is dark, my soul is stained by the blood of those I've slain. My blade sings out a mournful tune as I dance to the rhythm of the moon. And you watch her as, again, she starts going into sort of the pirouetting sort of darkness, very ballerina-like, and just Naruto runs across the battlefield. So, let me just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'll be honest, I really do wish we had our barbarian with us.
He's there, yeah. So that's
Just a listen. There's a mix
so that's,
Just something that could take some damage.
20 feet.
Extra
I'm not 20 feet.
cleric wouldn't be
30
bad.
feet.
That's 30.
30 feet.
Barbarian wouldn't be bad.
What class do you Vidiri?
And I'm going to attack with the blade,
Yep, so go ahead and roll attack on that one.
Plus also
and I'm
Oh,
going to use
oh,
Booming
really?
Blade.
You said another
Divine
card.
Soul.
Mine's all change my notes.
What?
Natural 20! This natural 20 is brought to you by Roll with Advantage, dice from Melbourne's probably best online dice store. Yeah, that's a thing.
You're allowed to make that call.
However, that means because I've got thingy up, I'm rolling that. Oh, that's pretty good.
Just one shot. Do it.
No, but that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. 12, 19, 27 psychic damage. And he is coated in thunderous energy, which means when he moves, he's going to take booming blade damage as well. And because I got mobile, I'm then going to run back 20 feet. Back there.
I'm just going to pop a...
I think I can reach.
It's not a, like, I take damage. Through there.
There we go.
We're gonna need little sticks on.
I'll let Andrew remember that one. Alright, so as you slice out with your Shadow Blade, the owlbear screeches and rears up, grasping at its head and writhing, shaking its head around before finally settling back down. And it is now that owlbear's turn.
I'm not just a big chicken!
Edelyn's after me, sorry. And she's going to hold her action to get into a flanking position, but for her movement, she's just going to ascend probably about here and just hold.
There?
But, well, no,
Where?
literally here. So she's in the air,
Yeah.
maybe like 30 feet and stuff. And then, yeah, so I'm just like, Edelyn, Help me out!
So, the owlbear does surge forward, taking the booming blade damage.
Woo!
To retaliate against the nearest thing that
What was it?
It's
has...
a 6 on the damage. Don't worry about that one.
So, forget it later. 6 was it?
6 thunder damage, yep.
Some damage. As it lets out an echoing boom that can be heard across the countryside. Okay.
That's a good
and
start, guys. That's a really good start.
It comes surging forward, beak biting and clattering against itself as it surges forward and tries to bite you in the neck.
Stay.
That is an 18 to hit.
Excellent. I have 19 AC.
So you manage to dodge just out of the way as it surges forward in a straight line. It's not quite agile enough to go with you. Then it lashes out with a claw as it sort of passes
Ballerina twist around.
for a 22 to hit.
22. I'm going to silvery barbs that. He needs to re-roll and take the lower result.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Okay, so the 22
22 hits.
and I will apply the advantage to myself.
So that is 10 points of slashing damage as the claw rakes down your left rib cage,
Yep.
slicing into your flesh. That brings us to Ares.
Okay. Could I stealthily approach the owlbear in the stables? Is it still asleep?
It's waking up as this is happening, but you can attempt to.
I will attempt stealthily approach it so I can make sure I get some.
So I'll get you to roll your stealth check for me. Oh, I thought that door was open, but I was playing it as if it was open.
Oh my lord. That's another nat 20 that I don't get on. I've rolled 3 nat 20s in my disadvantages.
So what
Did you just make an attack roll though?
No, that was my stealth
Oh,
check.
stealth check.
So that's
I was just like, just remember, you don't get the disadvantage on attack rolls.
16 stealth.
16. So you do manage to sneak up
Could have
behind
been
it.
27.
It was asleep, and you managed to get up right behind. It is not currently aware of your presence. So it's not quite fully awake just yet.
With my nice rapier out, I'm going to try and stab straight into its feathery plume. I get advantage because I'm sneaky. Thank God I get advantage. 17 plus 5.
17, that hits. Yeah, so you stab it in the butt.
Awesome. I will then deal 9 plus 5 is 17. I deal 15 damage. And then I book it using my bonus action to dash. All the way back into the field.
Back into the field. All right,
Back into the field, hoping it doesn't see me where I went.
the owlbear yawning and sort of half stretching as it wakes up, just feels this sharp pain in its butt, and there's this blur of movement as it turns to find nothing there. I'm just going to pop him out there just so I can manipulate him, but we
Dungeon
don't, he's
Master,
just inside.
Can you please describe the sound that the owlbear makes in its
This,
Is it who?
yeah. Let's just have a look at some owlbear. Are they more beary or are they more owly?
They have an owl head.
They do have an owl head. So you hear this.
They have
I
feathers and
can't
stuff.
screech.
You can
Give
try.
us your best
Not
try,
with
Luke.
that attitude, you can.
I believe
It spins around really quickly. But it's like, it's got the owl head, so just the head rotates around and the body still faces forward. So this huge owl head just. I can't even
right.
pretend to do it. see?
Drumstick number 2.
If you look like a mouse to the last owl, and this one,
And I move like a mouse. I'm quick. I'm dash.
you must be like a little bit of popcorn chicken to it.
Oh, intelligence.
My morning snack is coming towards me this time.
Not very. So that's Ares' turn, which brings us to Faustus.
Yeah, so I'm going to move from where I'm behind there and sort of. This will be my first time taking in the full side of these.
Around this side.
Yeah, that's right. So just so I can I'll hug the wall.
Yep. So you'll be able to get to just there, and you will be able to see. That's fairly open, so you'll be able to see both Owlbears.
Yeah.
That one's still technically inside the building.
Yeah. Okay. No worries.
You can see it. It's quite a large creature.
So we. Okay. So, out of range for. Oh no, I'm good. Yeah. So I'll cast Sacred Flame against the owlbear that's attacking Lilith. Is this 13?
That is a 6. So that fails.
So you take 7 damage.
Attacking Lilith. Alright, so as it just ignites in radiant energy. How much damage was it, sorry?
Pull my 7.
7. Okay.
And pull my arcane focus closer to my chest as I get ready for battle. Priest battle.
Battle of the priests.
Priest round.
So it is
Feature
now the second owlbear's turn.
No, thank you.
As the head just keeps spinning around back to the front. And it comes, having not found anything behind it, it lurches out. And we'll continue moving towards the first thing that it can see, which would be Lilith.
Sorry, Lilith.
Sorry, Mark.
So technically, he's going to come around, and that's not quite going to be flanking because he's not really, with an intelligence of 3, aware that getting behind gives him advantage. So he'll just roll a standard attack with attacking, trying to clamp down on his beak as it tries to clamp down around your wrist. That is a 14 to hit, so that is not going to hit. And then lashes out with that clawed, feathery arm with a natural 1.
Ooh.
As you manage to parry it aside, slicing out one of its claws.
Nice.
With it clatters to the ground.
She's like, I made a mistake.
Somebody please.
Just do your dance.
I am dancing.
Better.
Yeah, that's it.
Really
So
shake it.
that brings us to Videri.
So I'd say Vidiri moves a bit closer out of the field or anything that would be flammable within range. Lack of a better term. Definitely seeing what's happening with Lilith, kind of getting double teamed over on the corner.
It's a regular Friday night for Lilith.
This is the sausage episode.
The episode name is now called The Double Team.
Well, depending how this goes, it might be rail.
Well, trying to put an end to all this.
Vidiri's just like, that's enough. No more innuendos.
8 more owlbears appear out of the
Rocks fall.
Everybody does.
Everybody died. Vidiri is going to try and cast a guiding bolt at the structure of the property. I think trying to get it to attempt to collapse on one of the owlbears, trapping it under the rubble. So it won't.
Like
So
that
it'll
one.
stop. and
You
we
can try and do that if you like.
Well,
Go
yeah,
ahead
that's what
and
it is.
roll an attack on the building. It'll have a relatively high AC because you're trying to hit the support
It was
structure.
a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. So you do hit it. So roll damage on your
Yes, it
guiding
was.
bolts.
And that's looking at around 18 points of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
It
So surely it's trapped and it's stuck and it's just gonna till we can get some rope and deal with it and tie it up. Much like
It does crack and
Like
shatter,
Johnson
and that side of the building does collapse.
knowing that the owner of the
and-
building there was some blood around, so may not be concerned about
Now
the
they
structure
aren't
anymore.
they're not actually under the building, so but they will take some damage from the collapsing. So I'll get Lilith to also make a dexterity saving throw because you're in there as well.
Yes.
Both the
She's
enemies are
dancing.
definitely going to fail that.
Come on, she's dancing.
21.
So Lilith manages to dodge out of the way as
It's just like, what are you doing?
the owlbears,
Just like a backflip over the
owlbears
top.
take 5 points of piercing damage as that cracking and exploding wood sends fragments flying out into them and the edge of the building collapses onto them. So they take 5 points each. Sorry, that rolled really horribly. I should let you roll that damage actually. But they do take some damage. And the next attack on the building will have advantage.
Is it difficult terrain around this? Since it's a bunch of
Don't.
like shrapnel now?
For a medium-sized creature,
Roll
yes, it would
divine
be
energy.
difficult terrain.
What about a small size?
For a small, you could probably
house just explodes.
definitely difficult terrain. But for a large owlbear, not so much difficult terrain.
There were bricks and there were a lot of heavy building material. There could be asbestos in there. We don't know what's going on. I mean,
There's asbestos in it.
Look,
They're gone
you
in like
take
30
I'm playing
years.
the long game. Yeah.
It's like that.
150 points of asbestos.
Ah, shit.
It'll affect you
Shit.
in 30 years.
In
Yeah,
30 years' time,
I know a
Lilith will
lawyer
just
that can
kill
help
over.
you with that case.
Does
actually.
asbestos affect Fado?
What? He's clearly talking about the centaur.
Yeah, the centaur's
right,
back.
yeah.
Centaur's back. What are you talking about?
Alright,
Somebody else.
that was Video's turn. So that brings us to Lolliput.
Woo! So I'm gonna run like I run right behind Vidiri, and I'm kind of get there just in time to see a blood support of the structure, and I say that's smart. Lower the value of the farm. We come in, make an offer, steal it.
A fixer-upper.
Farmer campaign?
There'll be no stealing.
So I'm gonna fire a chaos bolt at the weakest looking owlbear, which is the brown one, the first one that
Yes,
looks
yes,
attack.
yes.
Yeah. It's 120 foot range. I assume that I'm well within that currently.
Looks like
Yep, you
20
just saw it.
feet
Yeah,
from a distance.
120 feet.
That is a 17.
That does it.
Great. So I'm casting this as a level 2. And I will probably try and empower it if it doesn't naturally jump. Alright, so I've got 6 and a 5, which would make the damage either lightning or poison. Let's go poison. I'm going to empower it, reroll this. It's less good. So that is going to make 8 points of poison, 11 points of poison damage.
Say what?
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was a dramatic.
11 more to the original.
No,
No,
because
the
when you
jump
empower,
one.
you get to re-roll one of the dice, and I was trying to get the jump.
Okay.
So 11 points, 2.
Alright.
And the silence probably means that everybody's really impressed by that.
Excellent. Okay, so you
That
see
side
that
is pretty
that
much-
poison
15
bolt
trying to
slam
do
in and melt into that owlbear's flesh as it burns away layer upon layer of feathers. I was going to say skin, feather, and then skin. You can now see elements of bone and internal organs as it is really struggling. Brings us back to the top of the order to Lilith.
Attack the brown one. I've still got the silvery barb's advantage. It's looking pretty damn ruined, isn't it?
Yes. Just barely holding on.
Yep, okay.
Talking about the support or the other?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. It's a 21.
Definitely hits. Now it's going to do it because he has 3 hit points left. And the old
Roll
damage
one.
is more than 3.
Oh, because there's
So you
a plus
may
modifier.
describe how you finish
I'll just
off
do
that
that in my
particular owlbear that came screeching at you. Thinking
Yeah,
you
so
a nice easy meal.
The things just like
I have that.
collapse down onto them and they kind of push it off. She's on a sort of cartwheel backwards and sort of runs up behind him. And you just watch as she slices straight across the back section of the neck. But obviously, because it's a shadowy sort of substance, it does actually penetrate the skin. But you watch as the shadow energy does seep into the creature, lets out one final screech before collapsing to the ground.
How does the screech go?
That's the one.
Very important.
I want to be.
It's like
I wanna
I'm
be
there.
And then I'm going to... She starts muttering something under her breath, and she's going to hex the other one as bonus action.
Alright.
And I'm actually going to just get myself onto the other side of it, if I can.
Like, which side are you going
So you just want to rotate round?
Yeah, I'm going to get on that side.
Yep.
I got enough movement speed, you're fine.
Hmm?
I was gonna like go flank it, but I'm pretty sure I have enough movement speed to get on the other side of it.
You just be running around in circles.
Of course you do.
Edalyn at that point didn't get the opportunity to use her reaction, so she's just continuing to fly up the top there. She's actually going to fly into range and use the help action, which will give advantage on the next attack roll against it.
Alright. Which, that owlbear is now dead, becomes Aries.
Bonus action, dash. Zoom. Straight to the front of the owlbear so I get flanking. Even though...
You just feel this breeze as Aries explodes past you in a puff of dust.
And since I gotta get to the other side, I'm gonna have like rapier out, almost like I'm gonna like pretend that I'm like cutting its side the entire time, but I'm not. I'm like too far away. And then as soon as I get to the front, eyes wide open yet again, and you go like, "This is your end, drumstick number 2," and stab it right in there.
Go ahead and roll that attack with advantage.
You're a 17. Nat 20.
And roll some damage.
Hold on, let me just.
That dice has rolled so many twists.
This dice is so hot tonight.
I continue to misunderstand how strong this build is.
Alright. 8.
And nat 20s do make a big difference.
11. And then 4 of these suckers. 11, 17, 18. 24, 30, 33 down. I got 3 6s and a 1. And then on my d8s, I got a 3 and an 8. I don't know what's going on, but I'm rolling so hot.
It's like
Smoking!
something about owls just really enraging.
Having flashbacks to the previous night.
Well, damn, he should have inspiration anytime an owl comes into play, right?
With disadvantage
Until
versus a
we
mouse.
come up against yes, disadvantage against the mouse. Until we come into the manticore horror owl.
Oh
That's-
no. It actually exists somewhere.
It's in a laboratory.
You
right
actually
now,
described closer to a chimera, which is far worse.
yes.
It's in a laboratory.
It
right
was
now,
all
trying
over
to like
the
inject
place.
itself with like super serum.
Frederick's not familiar with all
She's
that.
getting
About to happen.
It's a
Yeah, we do
manticore.
get very
Dark
close to come here with
rituals.
the button. It's
A
got
lich
the
owl.
Alright, so
I didn't take it out, did I?
it's that owlbear's turn.
Oh, I
And
didn't
he
kill
is
it.
going to look at
God
this
damn it.
thing in front of him and screech
This could be the end
and
of
try and
Aries.
bite Aries in the face.
Oh.
It's a natural one on the bite. As you just catch its beak and pull it further apart and slam its head back.
Ah, cool.
And it slashes out with its
Aries,
claw
Aries.
as you do so. That is a 16 to hit.
Yes.
That does hit.
You're like Captain America when he's trying to pull in the helicopter.
Yeah, I'm like
The claws are okay.
so distracted with the beat that the
That
ball
is
comes
so
side
13
swipes.
points of slashing damage. As you push that beak backwards, it just stabs straight out with a claw in your chest and rakes it downwards.
I am bloody.
Alright.
That's a heavy blow.
That's
if I were
more.
to-
That brings
did
us
More than
to.
half my health.
It's kind of like watching a toddler getting kicked by a
Wait.
pro wrestler.
Right. Faustus, your turn.
Yeah, so I'll move next to Lolliput. And I will raise my crystal shard, my arcane focus, and say, "The light shall not abjure you, foul creature," and cast guiding bolt
Alright.
against the owlbear.
You get the killing blow.
Ooh, so I'll use what's it called? Divine magic.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hey,
8.
that's better.
So that's 10, 18.
That hits.
Okay, and damage is 10, 15.
Alright. So, the guiding
proud.
bolt as you raise that arcane crystal focus and the divine energy leaps out. It penetrates straight through facing its back, explodes out the front, and you just see the heart for just a moment hanging there and just disintegrates into that divine beam of energy. And it topples over, and that owlbear takes his last gasping breath as it topples down onto air.
I'm like covered in blood, and I slowly turn with this Cheshire grin to Faustus, and I'm just like, holy shit, that was diabolical.
And that will bring us out of combat.
That's
Hey,
right.
nasty things.
Man,
We can't loot the bodies by any chance, can we?
Yeah, I wanna take a
Nothing
trophy.
Absolutely.
else on these bodies.
One doesn't have a heart, but other than that, they are very much harvestable.
Technically, Vidiri's foe was the building, so she could probably loot that.
Ooh. Can we go inside?
Can we find a deed
Absolutely.
inside?
Spoilers
I
of
start
war.
searching the houses
I'm
for
in
the
it for
bodies of the
perception.
fox.
Alright, so yeah, you do in that search go inside the building, and on that lower floor, towards the back of the house, you do find the dead farmer and his
Another
wife.
owlbear.
Is it- no signs of life.
No signs of life whatsoever. They've been dead for probably just over a day
Aw.
or two, and the owlbears have certainly taken their fill and had a bit of a feast at various stages
I turn away.
with that. It is quite a gruesome sight.
Mr. Dungeon Master, exactly how many magical swords do these dead farmers have now?
How many what?
Go ahead and roll an investigation.
Magical
How many property deeds do we find?
True.
And could I try and pull off one of the, or even cut off I'm thinking a talon as my trophy.
Go
That would
ahead
be-
go ahead and make an animal handling or medicine or survival check.
for magical swords.
What was the roll, sorry?
15.
15. You do not find any magical swords,
Not even one.
but you do find 22 gold pieces
I suppose we'll do.
in a little hidden compartment that isn't all that well hidden in the brickwork of the house.
Guys, I
And
think I
yes,
found obviously some magic. Ah, it's just gold.
you do also find the deed to the farm in there.
Oh, hello.
So you can probably go
keep
and
the deeds.
trade that with the
Are you
council
splitting
for
that
some
coin?
taxes.
It all goes in
Um,
the kitty.
Alright.
I got a 10.
I don't know what that means.
Because I still
Uh,
get disadvantage on that, don't I?
Yes.
Yep, 10.
So it is difficult, but you do manage to have a couple of goes. It was one of the claws, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So out of the 19 remaining claws, because one was sliced off, you do manage to eventually get one that's relatively intact
Excellent.
to take as a trophy.
And then I'm just going to continually to lay on the ground and puff, pant, and when no one's looking, shed a couple tears.
Yes, so Ares is now laying on the ground, still bleeding openly from that very savage scratch wound across his chest.
Are you okay?
Quite deep.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
And in fact, with the size of an owlbear claw, it's basically his entire chest.
Yeah.
It's just one
I look at
mass
that and I
of
go,
welts and scratch.
I must admit, Ares, that was impressive to cop such a claw and not be murdered like the farmers in that house back there.
I'll be honest, I feel the murdered. I feel it in my skin, I feel it in my bones.
You know,
What's,
you
just,
can't
what's
ask for
going on?
healing.
This optimism of your delusional optimism is cracking for a little bit. Are you okay?
Hold up. He's gonna try and stand up. Sweating, he's like,
I actually do help him up.
Aw.
you're right. I single-handedly defeated the Owlbears. All 4 of them.
She gets
Make
down
sure we tell our story.
really, really low because she's 6'2", and puts both hands on your shoulder and goes, "You did, Ares. I saw it myself."
Make sure we tell the
Slap your
bards.
face and then walk away.
To right the wound, just a quick little. Boop, boop, good joke.
Did you take any damage on that last?
I did. I'm at 17.
Okay, so I'll walk over and I will twin spell and cast Cure Wounds, touching you both.
Nice.
And I will heal you for, oh, that's pretty terrible. 6, 9
No.
health.
No, that's good. That's almost max.
I need help burying the bodies.
Oh, I'm so good at digging holes. Yeah, give me. I'll dig them in seconds. Just give me. You know what? I don't even need a breather. I'm gonna go find a shovel and continue to cry somewhere where no one can find me.
Is it damage to your soul, Ares?
No, just the body.
Was
Just right in the chest.
was my healing not enough?
Oh no, it was fantastic. And
Do you require-
honestly, I feel better than when the first owls attacked me. But
I'll heal him again. He's first level Cure Wounds for another 6 health.
excellent.
Now do you think you might be able to help bury the bodies of these poor farmers?
Whew, yeah, you know what? After the minimal healing you had to do on your end, I You know, I think I am regaining my spirit.
Your ability to self-repair yourself and heal is very impressive. You must be blessed by light.
I'm blessed by every single god out there. I think.
Shovels, Ares.
Right. And I'm gonna go sprint in like circles now that I'm like fully topped up and go find some shovels.
Vidiri will kind of say, you know, I could just cremate the bodies. Turn them to ash, scatter the ashes. You don't have to dig.
Well, that does seem expedient. Burning bodies, good in Aralarium Imperium. Yeah. That seems fine. I need some help carrying bodies out.
Well, where I'm from, in the deep south, we just throw them down a hole. Do we have a hole around here?
I don't think that's necessary.
We call it the maw.
The maw.
Yeah.
So you throw the bodies of the dead into a hole.
Yeah, well, I think there's a creature down there, but we don't talk about that.
Okay. Thank you for the suggestion.
You don't have this up. You don't have this up in the Northern Lands.
Not this far north, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's really awkward.
Lolliput, where you're from?
Sorry, what?
Where you're from in the Silver Vale, do they throw the bodies of the dead down a hole to something called the Maw monster?
No, that's completely horrid and unethical. Why would one do that?
It sounds like black, dark rituals.
It sounds like desecration of the dead.
What are you talking about? That's normal stuff.
Where we come from, let's just say that's very frowned upon, Lilith.
It's better to burn the dead somehow.
So you burn them up here.
It's not.
Do you like rest your head on them and they burn up and stuff?
In the
Just go like
twilight.
this.
like a sweet little nap. Yeah.
She's like got a
Cuddles
long
the bloody
hair. She's like
corpses.
Cuddles it tighter and tighter.
In the Twilight Vale, and correct me if I'm wrong, DM, we prefer to bury our dead, so trees may grow in their place, and the circle of life may continue. To burn one's dead is to cut the cycle.
Well, it's about expunging them of failure. You know, it's like they failed, so we expunge that failure from our people. Is that not a thing? You don't weed out your weak like that?
Yeah,
Like they're weak, they died.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
We have big festivals. I don't know about like any of this. Like the whole town like gets in on it. We all bring out the ale. Like
And
all
then
us halflings are just all out there, just having a merry time as we like try and like commemorate their lives. So does anyone know any like fun stories about these individuals we've never met?
We can make up some. So looking at them, is it like an old man and an old woman?
Older couple, yes. No. It's older than unlikely to have young children in the area type thing. Sort of
Could I
probably late 50s, yeah.
Could I have a look around in an effort to kind of work with Aries' plan of coming up with some stories that we could kind of fashion to a eulogy, just kind of like look around and see if there's anything like that. Maybe a note from a child or a son or a daughter who's kind of moved away or anything like that.
Make another investigation check. While you're doing that, so the Silver Vale do inter their dead into the earth, and those of high standing are buried within the shade of the heart tree. So it's a very druidic sort of earth-based culture. Yes.
That's a critical failure.
So you don't find anything really
burn the
to
body.
suggest. They look like they've mostly lived a hard life on the farm, sort of just eking out an existence with the crops that they've got. There are no signs of any sort of major wealth or other family members that might have moved on in life and done other things.
So how shall we inter them? In my order, it is similar to Lolliput's. We bury the dead. Ares, did you find shovels?
I started digging a hole and then I got told to stop, but I'm like 4 shovels deep already. Like
Faustus,
4 digs.
Aries, stay your shovels for a second. I fear that the Vidiri's plan might be the best of it. There are wild animals, and I'd hate to see the dead dug up.
Why we let's create the pyre in the partial. I mean, we wouldn't want to use an effort to go to waste digging the hole. We'll put the bodies in there.
Why don't we split the difference? You bury one and you cremate the other one.
That's fine. We'll
And
cremate
still have a party, so all parties involved
Alright, yeah.
We bury one. We each go around commemorating their life with one fact that we know about them that was good.
Let's do it.
We need food and drinks.
Oh, I'm starting. No, what? I don't know these people. They seem like people who lived long for humans. That's good.
I look around and they tended a mighty farm.
I remember the first time I met Malcolm Jessup and his lovely wife, Katharina. They welcomed me in with open arms and shared their supper from their table. I, a lowly stable hand, who could only say you wish, was welcomed into their home and brought up with them. I spent many a year here, summers included, mucking out their stables and doing odds and ends. They were like family to me. And to this, I say, good luck on your next journey. My parents.
I'd say in the middle of this really like a solemn, heartfelt kind of moment, you all of a sudden hear like a boom, as all of a sudden like a 15-foot cone of fire burning shoots out and incinerates the bodies. It's a 3d6 fire.
We've taken them outside, haven't we?
Yes, we're in the ditch.
Oh, we like
They're in the little
something else
ditch
on
though.
fire.
The half dug hole.
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
they
We
must
took
be.
the bodies to the half.
The fire takes instantly with the intense heat and begins to burn as they are cremated.
That is so good.
Loving
demolition
speech
expert.
from their adopted son who acted as a farmhand for years.
Wearing those wraparound sunglasses, you're like, boom, motherfucker!
Cool, yeah. in the
Shoots it and
background.
turns around. This cool guy's done. Look at explosions.
We're all just like, my hand just goes,
Little
Getting hit with a shockwave first, like, boom. I can be honest, I'm a little horrified for when she gets fireball.
That was
Oh, it's
gonna be
coming.
We
so
can cremate
good.
more bodies faster.
We can cremate them while they're still alive. Well,
That's
that,
the best use for fireball.
you know, that was a little quicker than what we normally do, but let's continue on since we're doing my tradition and go loot their pantries for all their alcoholic beverages and drink in their honor. Since they were your parents, I didn't even know.
It's what they would have wanted. As I like pick a bit of Malcolm Jessup out of my hair.
You do find some bottles of ale, fairly basic ale, within the cabinets of the house. Yes, nothing of
any
much
port?
stronger. No,
And
unfortunately.
they're fortified wines.
No, they were fairly simple and struggling farm.
So the Jessups.
To the Jessups.
To the Jessups. I mean, Papa. Mama.
You have quite the imagination, Lolliput. I was transported with your story.
That is good, my friend.
Well, did you really actually summon here in illness, and we're just finding this out now? And are they really your parents?
What do you think?
No.
Lolliput nods knowingly for those who are listening on the audio stream.
Alright.
Credits roll.
So now, but now we have like deeds to a farm, which we could like sell, or we could like hire out to like underlings.
True,
We'll
get
do it.
Airbnb it out.
Bounty.
Easy.
Money bounty.
I do.
So, Dungeon Master, I feel that with Vidiri and I being residents of the area, we'd understand the common law of how title deeds and things work.
Yes.
So, given the deceased nature of the occupants and us having possession of this, what do we know about, that?
You know that just taking the deed in and saying I now own this is not the way that property changes.
That might
things.
encourage murder deed taking,
yes.
perhaps?
But having access to the deed would allow the next of kin to then claim and legally own it with the original deed.
We have the next of kin.
Or if it's left vacant for 12 months, the Imperium can seize the land.
Okay.
Well, I feel that we have a career as bounty hunters. I mean, I think we did relatively well.
What do we need to take back for proof of this triumph?
Oh, probably just
This is
pieces
my-
of them. He's.
No, this is my one.
What's
Oh,
the,
well,
what's
then
the
I'll go
bounty
get
say?
What does it say?
The beaks of the owlbears.
The beaks, right? Okay, I'll go and.
Because if you can get hold of the beak, it's probably a good
Good sign that they're
good
dead.
sign.
Go
They're
well
dead. A
suited.
claw on it, or one of the
Pulls out a
spikes.
dagger, smiles,
Probably
and
not
just starts
dead.
walking while still got eye contact on
So
you.
we do harvest
Yeah.
those owlbear beaks, and I did not write down how much that bounty was worth.
I'm pretty sure he said 5,000 gold.
1 million gold.
50.
A full
Right?
level up.
No, it's
200
that was
gold
supposed
per beak.
200 gold.
to- Yeah, that sounds about right.
I've got it here.
But yes, we will also be level 4 after that. So, well done on
Dangerous.
leveling up. Now it is
Bad
10 o'clock,
decision.
so we can finish up there. It is a good stopping point, unless we want to do the travel back and grab our hold of our new legally drafted deed for the farmers.
There's more shenanigans afoot.
Well,
we can do that
We'll
next
do
week.
that.
We
We'll
can
do
do
this.
that.
Is it next week?
Or-
Or are we doing something special next week?
We stay tuned for announcements for next week.
The Back to the
Given-
Future one shot.
Given the victorious
I mean-
nature of our bounty, can you narrate the badass way in which we return to the village as night falls?
So,
And does no
Aries is out
sleep
front.
till Brooklyn play in the background as we're like walking into town?
as you walk in with that superior strut, Ares leading the way, with shoulders wide, in each hand wielding an owlbear beak,
That's the size of
walking in
him.
going, "Hail the mighty Ares! He has defeated the owlbears!
I did it by myself!
There were 2 owls and 2 bears, and I defeated them." And he slams the beaks down on the town council's desk and says, "You have been served by the mighty, valiant Ares, who single-handedly defeated 2 owls and 2 bears. And also, these guys came as well, but they weren't much help. I kind of single-handedly destroyed them. They were a little bit behind because I am so fast that they just arrived at 20 minutes too late. I had already defeated and buried and cremated and all sorts of things. And I am the mighty hero Ares. You may sing songs of my glorious single-handedly defeating the 2 owls and the 2 bears that were terrorizing the neighborhood."
I smirked, thinking of Ares' Lieutenant Dan moment on lying broken on the field of battle.
Dreaming
I already
hilarious
forgot
tonight.
about
Ooh.
I already forgot that I was injured on the field, because
Jump out of our combat scene.
as was mentioned, I single-handedly won the day.
Alright, so we will call it there for the night. So thank you for joining us, for joining this session of the Coastal Conclave, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. So stay tuned for an announcement as to exactly what's happening next week, because I will be having work commitments. But thank you for joining us again, and we will see you next Wednesday for this. Now.
Yeah,
Secrets of the Conclave
Secrets
next
on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Watch Secrets.
Secret.